Hello, could you please state your name for the record?
Hi, my name is Athaliah Walcott.
Okay, could you please tell me something about you?
I am a graduate from Sam Houston State, or soon to be. I will be graduating in December of 2018. I'm from Houston, and I am a vocalist. I'm 24. I would say that's a roundabout basic of me.
Okay, so you said your primary instrument is vocal?
Yes.
So you were classically trained?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. High school and college, or just college?
High school and college, but the difference between high school and college is the meat.
Makes sense. Okay. All right, so you said you attend Sam Houston State University. Since you live in Texas, why did you choose that school compared to SMU or Texas Women's?
I have a lot of friends that have gone to Sam Houston State in the music therapy program and graduated from there. Excuse me. And it just based on the quality of the practice that I see from other people, I would say that Sam Houston obviously produces good therapists, which is obviously based on how people take their practicing, but the product of Sam Houston State, it seems to always be the cream of the crop from among others.
Okay. With school, there are some times where you have some good days and some bad days, especially as being a music major. How do you get through stressful situations that you have probably encountered in college?
I try to have, well, first of all, I have a pretty strong friend group of people that I trust and that I rely on, we have the same faith basis, and so it's easy for me to connect to them. And even if they can't relate to what I'm going through, they are always there to support me or pray for me or just listen to me, which is something that everybody needs to be able to do, is just listen. So I would say that they are definitely a building block in my daily life, in my social life, and getting through things that are hard. So they play a really big part.
Okay, so with having close friends, I'm going to go with, are you a people person? Are you good working with different types of people? Are you patient? Could you give me something on that?
I would say that I'm a people person, but with that, I would say that I'm an extroverted introvert. I really value my me time, but it doesn't tire me out to be around people, where I know that that's a big part of being an introvert, but that doesn't qualify to me personally. But I would say I would definitely a people person. I can get along with anybody anywhere. Even when people are rude to me, I can just put on a smile and bear it, and until that person leaves. So I would say I'm a people person for sure, and patience is definitely one of my outward qualities.
Okay. Going back to college, what would be, or what's a class that you felt that it probably wasn't your strongest class, but what did you do to kind of come out of it on top?
I would say that, well, subject-wise, I've never been a math person. So for me, math was a really hard subject, but I did have to put in probably 2 and 3 times as much extra time doing homework and going to the teacher's office and getting tutorials. I know how to make good grades because I don't like to fail, but I definitely, I'm not perfect, so
Okay.
hard times happen.
Okay, so going off the fact that you would go speak to your teachers, so then you are you feel comfortable going to ask your professors for help?
Oh, yes.
Okay, because here you will be working with a supervisor. And so there are sometimes we understand that you don't know everything. This is a learning process. And there are going to be some times that you won't know what to do. You won't know how to deal with a situation. How are you with working with your supervisor and a relationship with each other? How do you see that going? Or how are you able to work with that?
I would like to work closely to a supervisor. I'm self-motivated, so if I don't understand, I can try to understand it first, but I would rather ask for help than to mess something up. So being able to go to somebody and ask, hey, I don't understand how this goes, can you help me? I think is one of the basic parts of success, honestly, because if you don't know what you're doing, then you're set up for failure unless you ask. So I would say that I would really, really enjoy and appreciate my job more if I could work closely with somebody who really knows what they're doing to instruct me on how to become a better professional.
Okay. Going on with the accomplishments, could you possibly give me like 2 or 3 accomplishments that have given you the most satisfaction in your life, whether it was with college or family? What were 2 or 3 accomplishments that really stuck home with you?
I went to Bible school before I came to Sam Houston State, and I finished their Bible training and leadership class, despite some people's wishes for how my life should have gone. But that's something that really brought me a lot of gratefulness. It humbled me. It taught me so much, and I finished it because my second year was really hard, and I didn't have a strong friend group when I was there, and I was going through some things that without just being able to see the finish line, I probably wouldn't have made it. So that's one thing. Another accomplishment I would say is I've led worship for 12 years, and I have had the honor and opportunity to lead worship in front of thousands, and being asked to do something, to be trusted with somebody's congregation is a big deal to me. And so that's why I like to relate it to music therapy, because somebody is trusting me with a client's life and trusting me with their improvement. And so I relate a lot to worship, but I've been asked for different churches to sing there, come minister, come be a part of their congregation and a part of their team. And it's something that always makes me feel on top of the world to somebody trusts my anointing enough. So.
Okay, so you said that you worked leading worship. So then, what are some previous jobs that you have had in the past that would possibly prepare you to work at this rehab?
Okay, I would say worship for one. I would say that worship has taught me how to feel the atmosphere. If people are not really into what you're doing, then you move along. Sometimes if they're not into what you're doing, but you know that what you're doing is exactly what you need to be doing at that time, then you stick with it. When I went to Bible school, I worked at summer camp there, and I was the female intern leader, so I had 100 teenage girls from 11 to 18 under my supervision. And it was crazy, but I made it through the entire summer. It was 10 weeks of that, and having to go check up on them and having to listen to them, and actually, even though I've been that age obviously before, but it's different when I wasn't that involved with high school when I was in high school. A lot of my friends were older, but a lot of the girls that I was with, they were dealing with these issues that I had never dealt with, and so it really taught me to be a good listener. I would say that that's something I've definitely learned from that, along with being under a supervisor. Excuse me, supervisors that like you and some that don't like you, and I've learned to deal with that and just respect authority above all else. Respect authority. So,
okay. You brought up some supervisors possibly not liking you or liking you. Dealing with, let's say, a boss who you don't really work well with each other, or it's just not this connection. How would you, as call you a newbie, how would you take that? How would you go through that process of possibly trying to work better with each other?
I would do what I can within self-respect and respect of the facility that I'm at to make that relationship work. I think that every relationship is worth working for, at least a little bit, especially professional ones, because those people are valuable. What they do is important. But if it was something that was a little if it was like an instance that keeps happening, something that goes against rules or things that were just like not right at all, then I would first present it to the supervisor, and then if it didn't get resolved, then possibly go to a higher power, in the sense, like within the workplace.
Someone up the food chain.
Yeah, I would definitely go up the food chain, but obviously like start the problem here and try to fix it before I go up. So
okay, all right. Well, going back to school, most basic question we all get asked: why did you choose music therapy? What's your story on that?
My story on music therapy is that I grew up in Tier Memorial Herman. My mom has worked there since I was 2, and I remember when they got music therapy and my mom came home and talked to us about it. My mom talks to us about anything that happens at work that she can talk about, and so I remember when that happened, and my mom, or I've sung for a long time, but my mom was like, maybe that may be something you want to do. And she's always said, music therapy might be something you want to do. And I was like, yeah, maybe not really. And then I started leading worship, and then I went to Bible school, and I was looking for something that was going to be in music and deal with helping people. And I met someone that went to Sam Houston, that she told me, or we were having a conversation, I told her what I wanted in a degree, and she told me about music therapy after I had been volunteering with music therapy for years and years and years, but it had never clicked that what I do already can be put into a degree in a sense. And then doors just started opening. I applied to Sam Houston State. I auditioned for the music program. I interviewed for the music therapy program, and I was in music therapy. And the more that I have been in it, the even more that I want to just dive in and learn all the things that I can. So music therapy is a lot like what I already do. So.
Okay. I know going into your degree, you were probably just really excited for it, and I know the schooling for it can be very demanding and tedious and hard, but what made you stay in this degree? Because everyone has that moment where you're not sure if this is the degree for you, or I should just drop out and be a hobo. What made you keep going? Because a lot of people, they can't do this. But what happened to you that you decide to stick with this?
My thought all the time when things get hard at school is, if I drop out, what else can I do? Or if I change my major, what else am I good at? And I honestly feel like I'm not good at anything else. Like, I'm good at music, and I'm good at talking to people, and I'm good at following directions. So, you know, I mean, what else would I do if I wasn't in music therapy? But something else that keeps me here is that there's something in me that knows that I'm supposed to be here. Doesn't matter if like, how hard it gets. Just basic. Doesn't matter how hard it gets. I know I'm supposed to be here. There's nothing... I can't imagine myself anywhere else. Like, switch schools, switch majors. Why? I would have no reason to do anything else but this. So.
Okay. All right. Then, long term, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself leading worship full time and being a contracted music therapist, being on my own schedule, on my own time, being my own boss. I think I honestly would like to open my own practice instead of being under an agency, so I could be more of my own boss and do music therapy how I want, not under a specific umbrella of ideas and theories. So,
okay. What made you pick this population amongst all the other populations that you could possibly choose from?
The easy answer would be to say that because I grew up around people that have TBIs and spinal cord rehab and brain injury, stroke, things like that, it would be comfortable. But I've seen the things that happen when music is applied to those populations, and I think that that's something that has always just fascinated me so much. I've done lots of research on a lot of different populations, but I just end up back here. I end up back here every time, so that's why.
Okay. How do you think your college experience has prepared you for a career in music therapy?
I would say that I've made a lot of friends here, at Sam Houston State. and I would say that being able to work with people and really understand and be open-minded about people specifically is what I've most gotten out of going to college altogether. Is that people are different and people don't see things the way that you do. And it doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't make them any less than you. And I think that a lot of people struggle with that. And I think I struggled with that at one point. But going to college just submerses you in a place that you can't help but be surrounded by different people. And I've really enjoyed that. That's what I've learned the most out of college so far.
Okay. Are you willing to possibly are you possibly willing to spend 6 months as a trainee or getting a sort of certification?
Yeah. That would be cool. Okay.
If for any reason, are you willing to like travel around if some of our clients can't come in and you have to go to their homes?
Mm-hmm. That'll be fine.
Okay. Is there like a preferred age group that you are willing to work with, or any kind of preferences on that?
I would say that I feel most comfortable working with young adults to adult, like regular average adult age, because I feel like I relate to them better.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, would you like to play me something today?
Yes.
If you could just say what you're playing first and then start.
I'm going to be playing You and I Both by Jason Mraz. Okay, yeah.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Was it you who spoke the words that things would happen but not to me? Oh, things are gonna happen naturally. Oh, I'm taking your goodbyes and I'm looking on the bright side and balancing the whole thing. Oh, but it oftentimes those words, they get tangled up in lines, and the bright light turns to night. Oh, until the finer things, another day to sing about the magic that was you and me. 'Cause you and I both love what you and I spoke of, and others only read of, others only read of the love, oh, the love that I love, yeah, la da da da.